Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host, Mohammed Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co-author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Angel Ribo. Angel is the CEO of Confidant, the founder of Divine Human Ventures LLC. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Angel Ribo. Angel, welcome.
Hi, thank you. Thank you very much for having me today, Siddique, and obviously thank you everybody who's watching us today.
Let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to do what you do today?
Well, I have to say that probably the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing today is because I'm originally from Spain. I was born in a city a few miles away from Barcelona. And very early on in my life, I started learning foreign languages, first French, then English, eventually Portuguese, and along with my Spanish and with the Catalan language that we speak in Catalonia, the northeast of Spain. I think that put me really in the right track to start being really willing and able to go to many other places. I remember when I was in college, I actually was able to start participating in international organizations, and I started having an international experience. Fast forward today, I live in Plano, Texas, north of Dallas. I've been here for 10 years. And I've lived in total, I think, 7 or 8 different countries in my life. So definitely, I think that the willingness of my mom and dad to have me learn foreign languages, and then me taking action, and starting from college, and then starting working for different multinational companies, corporations, and starting doing business. I mean, I was counting when I started my own journey, like as an entrepreneur. That was 5 years ago. Actually, I started to count my blessings, and I realized that I had helped more than in the previous 20 plus years. I had helped more than 1,500 companies and C-level executives in more than 33 countries. Siddique, when you're doing so much stuff, but you don't have time like to stop and take stock of the current situation. Yeah. So that's why I stopped. I did that. And I said, okay, so maybe the right brand for my company would be the CEO Confidant, and that's what I did. And something else that I did actually, and which makes me, and who I surround myself of, I think that the answer is, besides surrounding myself of C-level executives and having permanent contact with them, one of the most important things I do is actually I surround myself with kids. And that's important because actually in 2017, we launched an international foundation. It's called Wisdom for Kids. And what we do is we help underprivileged kids in Latin America become entrepreneurs using their local resources. The reason why we launched, I'm the co-founder and president of Wisdom for Kids. The reason why we launched that is because I had seen so much poverty while I was traveling throughout Latin America all the time that I said, I'm probably one of the most prepared and ready, persons in the world or in Latin America actually to help connect the unconnected. I always I always explain that the kids for me are the poor kids are the unconnected people in the world. And in Latin America alone, so that there's 81 million kids that live in poverty, 81 million kids. And I was already, I was already on that journey of helping and raising funds for other organizations. Prior to that, actually, I was proactively working with a nonprofit based in India that was created in the 1950s by a Spanish Jesuit monk who went to India. And then to date, they have helped more than 3 million people, mainly in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, which are two states in the south of India. And I was the ambassador for this organization for many years. And I was, attending even events here of the, North American Telugu Association. So I've always been in this international space, always trying to do good and always trying to connect the people that have been unconnected.
What are the top 3 mistakes to avoid?
Great question. Actually, when I started when I teach, or when last year I gave a couple of webinars to a local accelerator, business accelerator here in Dallas, and the title of the session was Pivoting in Times of Crisis. I always talk about the mistakes I made when I started my own journey. The first mistake I made is actually not asking for help fast enough. So I wanted to do everything myself, and that was a big mistake. I think that when you start your own journey, it's very important that you really immediately look for help. The only resource that we really have as entrepreneurs or as human beings is time. That's the only resource that is scarce. The rest of resources, we have infinite of them, because really, money comes and goes against contrary belief, right? But that's the number one mistake I did. Number two is that I was too hesitant. I really was hesitant about what's the route I should take. I had done so many things and helped so many industries and so many C-levels that I thought myself, I could do this, I could do coaching, I could do consulting, I could do training, I could do this particular industry, this other particular industry. And I have to say, that's the worst thing you can do. I wish I know what I knew what I know that now, because I would have taken one path, one route, and I would have completely 100% would go down that path and started to see what was happening after taking action. That's why my main business mantra is take imperfect action now. And the third mistake I made is actually not collaborating. I think that we are taught so much and so often to competition, but we really continuously underestimate the power of collaboration. I think that we are not taught, even in business schools, we are not even enough taught about how to properly collaborate. There's a lot of things that can be accomplished with partnerships, and there's a lot of things that can be accomplished as far as you are able to set up the right, let's say the right boundaries of that collaboration, and making sure there's a reciprocity in place. Those would be my three top mistakes, Siddique.
What are your greatest failure story? What did you learn, and how did you recover from it?
Well, I have many failure stories, let me tell you, okay? But probably one of the stories that I will never forget in my life is one of the large. I was working with a large corporation. I was still in corporate America. I was working in a big, massive deal. It's actually an electric motor company, manufacturing company present in Mexico, in the outskirts of Mexico City, and they were the subsidiary of a company based in Brazil. Right, and I was selling technology at that time, so I wanted basically to help them develop their products better and find efficiencies in that process, in the product development process. So there we go. I was working with a specific other company, so I was basically helping one of our value-added resellers to do that. And I have to say that as the main headquarters were already using our technology, we thought that we were in a very good position. Okay, so we took precautions. We set up. This is going to be the sales strategy. This is what we're going to do. This is going to be the proof of concept. Those are going to be the criteria. We're going to be asking those questions. We're going to be serving. On top of that, the general manager, the CEO of that plant in Mexico, was actually from Spain. So it was from the same country as I am, right? So I thought that we really had a very good chance of winning. And I have to say that obviously, unfortunately, we lost the deal. So we had really very good chances of winning, but we took shortcuts. The main thing that I learned, or we all learned as a team, was that number one, never ever, underestimate any competitor if you are in a competitive situation. Number two, never take shortcuts. Always, if you have a proven path, if you have a proven recipe that is typically taking you to success when you're trying to help someone to achieve their business goals, as this electric motor company in Mexico, stick to that strategy. Don't take any shortcuts, even if there are certain pieces of evidence that would tell you that you are a better position and that you can make it maybe shorten some path. So that was the main mistake. The main mistake was always do what you know how to do it perfectly, do it as flawlessly as you can, and then hopefully as it typically is the case, you will win the account.
How did you recover from it?
Well, I have to say that I had already announced that was going to be a potential win for us. Unfortunately, I had to go back to my manager and my company and say, hey, unfortunately, we failed miserably and it was my fault. And I took full responsibility of that. I didn't give the responsibility to anybody else. And moving forward, the most important lesson moving forward was, regardless of what's going on, regardless of what the company is, we will always make sure that we put the interest of the customer before us, that we make sure that the profitability of what we do with them and the deal that we are proposing to them is going to be profitable for them and to them, and that we are going to increase their profitability as a customer, even if we are only a vendor or a supplier. That was one of the most important things.
What are what are your top 3 success secrets that others can model from?
Number one, I mentioned it before. The number one secret is take that mantra that they always use: take imperfect action now. I think that unfortunately, very often we are trapped. We have these cognitive traps called perfection, and we try to be perfect before we do something, before we go to the market, before we talk to someone about our products and our services. That's number one. Number two, I think that we have to be extremely courageous. And every single time that we have an idea or we think that something can work, and most of those ideas obviously come from our teams, I think that we have to go and talk to our potential prospects and clients immediately. In the startup world, there's something called the minimum viable product or the minimum viable service, right? And when a startup is starting, they want to make sure that what they are developing is going to have some acceptance in the market, right? So I think that we should do that consistently all the time. The first thing we have to do, no matter what product or what service is, let's go to the market. Let's talk to previous business partners, to potential prospects, potential clients, and ask them for help. Everybody wants to help, because at the end of the day, that product or service might be able to help them. And again, it's when the rubber hits the road that you really know if a product or a service is going to get traction in the marketplace. And the third one, I would say that we underestimate continuously the profitability of the business decisions that we make. I think that's continuously a problem. And also, this is a problem not only for us, that we really don't know how to manage properly the finances of our own companies, but also when we're going to the market and when we are proposing specific products and services to our clients, we are not clear enough and we don't make a good enough effort to convey how our products and services are going to improve or impact positively their profitability, their and their cash flow at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. We are about to move into a lightning round. That means quick question and quick answer. Are you ready?
Okay. So you expect a quick answer from me. Awesome.
Yeah, quick answer, because we are almost out of time.
Okay.
So, what are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful for my family and for the support I receive from them every single day.
How young are you?
I'm 52 years old.
So, Angel, you are not 52. You are 18 years old with 34 years experience.
Thank you very much. Exactly. Bang on.
What you want to do when you grow up?
When I grow up, I want to increase the outreach and the impact of what I do every single day with my business and with my nonprofit.
How do you overcome a challenge life throws at you?
With a lot of peace and with a lot of reflection and meditation.
How do you start your day?
Meditating every single day and working on an intention experiment.
What is the advice you will give to younger yourself?
Take many more risks.
Once you have a revenue generating idea, how do you convince your significant other?
My significant other, that's a great question. Well, I have to say that I not always ask for my significant other opinion, but probably I should. And this is a great reminder and a great question.
What is the impactful book you have read and what did you learn from it?
Well, the book that changed my life forever was a spiritual book. It's called
Can we see it?
The Celestine. Hold on, give me a second. I was looking at it. It's here. It's here. It's taking me just 1 second. Celestine Prophecy. It's taking me to the movie Here it is. Okay, here it is. So this is the book. It's called The Celestine Prophecy. I think we have some issues with
Can you put
the background.
Okay.
Yeah, The Celestine Prophecy. Okay,
Close. Go.
that's the book. It's by James Redfield. By James Redfield.
What
And
did
that
you
book,
learn?
yeah. So basically, when I was reading that book is basically the story of 9 revelations that come from scrolls that were found in the Amazonian forest in Peru, and those scrolls, everyone actually speaks to your to your higher self. They speak to your spirituality. They speak to things that you already know, but you never thought, or you never learned or thought of how to word them. So when I was reading that book, it's as if it was really literally talking to myself, something that I already knew inside myself, and it actually made me go from Europe. That's the reason why I moved from Europe to the Americas many years ago.
Why being impactful is important to you?
Because I think that, well, because I have always known that I am, the connector of the unconnected. I have always known that the outreach that I have is to be used for good, and that's why for me, reaching out to as many people as possible, both with my consulting work, my business work, and my nonprofit work with my kids in Latin America, I think it's just my life purpose. I find passion, and I find purpose doing that.
Who is your mentor and what's the impact?
I really don't have a mentor. I would say I've never followed anybody specifically, but I have always been very curious, and I have always read a lot. If I had to mention only one person that changed my life in a very important moment, was probably Tony Robbins, and one event I attended, the Unleash Your Power Within event, because there's several concepts I learned in that event that are still with me. And actually one of them is related to your previous question, which is why outreach and impact is important to me. And it's because it really, I find purpose in spreading the word about what I do, and most importantly about what I have learned in my life.
What you want to be remembered for?
For my passion, for my enthusiasm, for all the good that I brought to the world, for all the common sense, for all the critical thinking. For that, I would like to be remembered for.
Who is your ideal client?
My ideal client, that's a great question. It's not a particular industry. It's not a particular company size. It's literally, business leaders that really want to leave a legacy, that really want to change the world, and business leaders that really want to change themselves, and that they think that it's never too late to do it.
How can we support you?
Thank you very much. Well, I mean, you can reach out to me. You can connect with me. If you think that you are an entrepreneur, or again, an established entrepreneur, or a corporate C-level executive, you can go to the ceoconfidant.com, or you can write to me to my email address, which is very simple. It's angel@angelribo. Ribo is my last name, spelled like R-I-B as in boy, O.com. angel@angelribo.com.
Angel, we are about to wrap up. I'd like to have your few words about your today's guest experience on the show. And here is my question. What would you say about your today's guest experience on the show?
Great. It's been a great experience. For me, I have never seen such an organized podcast interview in which all the questions are being asked, so the audience can read the questions at the same time that you're asking them. So I really appreciate you for taking so much time and effort to work on those questions.
What would you say as a final word?
As a final word, I would say life's too short to be with the wrong people. Take imperfect action now.
Amazing one. So thank you so much, Angel Ribo, for sharing your wisdom with us today. On the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team, we really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.
Thank you. Thank you very much to you. And